some of these desires you have been born for. I explained that in the class on karma and reincarnation and all that. How, we take birth with very specific desires in mind. Some big karmas, as they are called, some really very important desires, and then some others attached to them. So, you came here for that, have it. Otherwise you will have to be born again. Very simple. For that desire. So, that is the understanding that also comes here with the chakras. So, if at some point in your life you feel, okay, I've done some yoga, done some meditation, reached something, very nice, but now I really want to have some, rock and roll, why not, start a band and, have some real fun on the stage, because I really always dreamt of doing that, I really want to do that, I really, find very much pleasure in that. Please do. Drop your yoga for 10 years, for 20 years, I have no problem with that. Enjoy yourself until this desire is exhausted, and then you can again come back to something else, whatever you want. So don't feel anything moralistic about that whole story, and especially not the higher and lower idea. This is a natural process. This whole world was not created for becoming enlightened. Enlightenment is just the last level of the game. The first level of the game, like with a computer game, First level of the game is the level of the first chakra. The second level is second chakra. And then at some point the computer says, and now you may enter the third level. Okay, let's have an ego, let's be somebody, and so on. And it goes on and on and on until you reach the last level, and now your job, your task in this level is to become enlightened. Okay, let's have fun. That's also fun. And have that. So this is how the world, the universe is organized. That's why it is created. So play the game. Lila, the game of life. Actually, it needs a little bit more about what happens at death. At death, you are leaving your body through the channel that relates to the chakra in which you have predominantly lived. So some people will actually leave their body from their anus if they are first chakra dominated. Others will leave it from their genitals when they are second chakra dominated, and so on. So this is also an indication when a little blood comes out, or when a person dies, a little blood comes out of the nose, then probably they have left from that place. This is how it is said. And only the highest saints, they can leave from here. It's like the end game. No more returning needed today. But for all those others, when they leave in that way, they go to a certain place which also relates to the chakras. When we sing in Gayatri mantra Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha, then Bhur is the physical world. People who are mostly living in the first chakra will quite rapidly, after dying, again take birth in the physical world. They will not really actually leave the physical world. People who are more active already in second chakra, they will go up to the astral world, the world of dreams and thoughts and all these things. And then the people who are already living from third chakra, they will have earned a place in heaven, the first heaven. Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha. Svaha. And then there's others. There's Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satya, other levels that relate to the different chakras. And the higher these levels go, also the more teaching we get. The more we can get in contact with like spirits of saints, or what we usually call deities, gods, devtas, that. Now, within this evolution of the chakras, there are three main knots, three main blockage points. The first knot is the knot of Brahma, Brahma Granthi, this is called. This knot is situated in third chakra. To go beyond Brahma Granthi means to go beyond the world of names and forms. As long as you are only going up to your third chakra, then your main occupation is with that which you can touch and feel and see and so on. To go beyond that is, to untie the knot of Brahma. In fourth chakra then, we have the knot of Vishnu. Brahma is the creator of the phenomenal world. Vishnu is the preserver of the phenomenal world. So, Vishnu Granthi means to go beyond the idea that you are responsible for this universe, for its functioning, for its preservation. In fourth chakra, this is a little bit a problem. We start being involved with everything. Oh, that's very nice. And we start wanting to change, things for the better. Fantastic, nothing wrong. But it is only becoming wrong when we start feeling unhappy because of it. Because we don't have control over everything. We can't just change everything. Some people are just in their first chakra. They're not going to jump out of it, because you are playing a nice tune. It's just not going to be. It needs time. There's a development going on. So, this fourth chakra problem of love is a problem of being too much attached to the results of your actions. It is very, very good to live in Dharma. It means to live in harmony with everybody around you and try to do good. That is very good. It is very bad to expect it to work. That is dissolving Vishnu Granthi. And to go beyond that, to go beyond expecting anything of what you are doing, is to untie the knot of Vishnu. And then in sixth chakra, there is the last knot, Rudra Granthi, the knot of Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer. Shiva is the one who wants to destroy the ego, destroy the individuality, and bring us to unity and to cosmic consciousness. Now, there also in sixth chakra, there is a knot. And this knot consists of thinking that there is a problem which needs a solution. Because that is still there, of course, in sixth chakra. We want liberation. We feel this world is no good. We feel ourselves are no good, and we want to get out of this ego and find liberation. So, to really pass through sixth chakra, we have to stop wanting enlightenment. We have to accept whatever comes. We have to just let it happen. Then it can happen. As long, like in deep meditation, as long as we are still trying to lose ourselves, we cannot lose ourselves. We have to stop the trying, because that's the doer. We have to stop the doer. We have to drop the doer. So that is in sixth chakra what has to happen. This going beyond all this doing, trying, just being. So in a way, these three knots show the main tasks in this evolution that is represented by the chakras. And in fact, there are many, many other knots. Each chakra has many knots, many particular little problems that have to be resolved. This is something we can maybe talk about in another class, because if you start talking just about the first chakra, you can fill a whole class with that very easily, about all the aspects that are there. Every of these lotuses of the chakras has petals, and the number of petals gives you a lot of information about the different issues that are there in every chakra. On this sheet of the body, I can just mention it, that the chakras also are related to a particular location in the body. So, first chakra, first of all chakras are located in the spine. And so when I say the first chakra is located above the anus, it means above the anus in the spine. Nothing to do with the anus. Only to do with the spine. Second chakra above the genitals, nothing to do with the genitals. It's to do with that place in the spine behind. Then fourth, navel chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra here on top. There are also 5 sense organs related to those chakras, and that's because of the relationship with the elements of the chakras. The earth element is the only element with a particular smell, so it is related to the nose. The water element is essential for taste, so it is related to the second chakra. The tongue is related to the second chakra. Fire element is related to seeing, so it is related to the eyes. The air element is related to touch. No? That is how we know that there is air, because if we move our hands, we feel the air touch our hands. So that is related to skin. And then space is all that is needed for sound to travel. So sound is related to the ears, and the ears are related to the fifth chakra. And then beyond fifth chakra, there is no more sensory organ related to it. And then we have certain work organs related to the chakras: the anus for the first, the genitals for the second, the feet for the third, hands fourth, and mouth fifth. And mouth speaking, hands for caring, feet for purposeful movement, going somewhere, movement of the body, genitals for sensual enjoyment, and anus for grounding. So, but what I mostly want to say is, don't think from this overview, which is like a very typical overview, that the chakras are in the physical body. They are not at all in the physical body. They are in a channel of the subtle body. But there is some relationship to the physical body. But clearly the earth element, it is everywhere in our body. The earth element is not only in the spine near the anus, So that way of thinking of the chakras being, like physical things in our body is entirely wrong, according to ancient Vedic texts. A lot of modern research is focusing on finding this gland there and that gland there, and then thinking, oh, that gland, yeah, that's the third chakra, and that gland is the second chakra. There's nothing to do with glands. There may be relationships with glands, but it's nothing to do with glands. It's to do with nadis. Nadis are channels of energy. There are about 72,000 of them, according to Vedic science. And some of them are more gross channels of energy, like nerves. They are also nadis. Like meridians that we use in acupressure, lymphatic system. All those are channels of energy of the more gross level. It is not there that the chakras are. The chakras are in the much more subtle nadis of the mental bodies, and the mental body and the body of the subconscious mind, Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the main one, the number one, absolutely, is called the Sushumna Nadi. The Sushumna Nadi is located inside the spine, but this must be seen on a, beyond the body level. It starts below the first chakra at the base of the body and moves through the central channel of the spine upwards, and then it comes to the just below the sixth chakra, where it will create two branches. One branch will go behind on the head up to the crown chakra, and the other one will go inside the head, more to the front, but not really in front, more inside the head, reach their sixth chakra, and then go up. That is the Sushumna Nadi, and the main Nadi in Kundalini Yoga. The main Nadi actually in any yoga. Then two more Nadis are really important. We're not going to discuss every 72,000 of them. Two Nadis are very important, are called Ida and Pingala. Ida and Pingala, Ida is lunar, having cooling energy, and Pingala is solar, having very hot, more male kind of energy. Both also start at the same place as Sushumna, at the base of the spine. But they are not in the central channel. They are surrounding the central channel. And they go like this, around the chakras. Always alternating. Until they reach Sixth Chakra, where they create a knot. And this knot is very much related to what I said before about bringing union between the lunar and the solar, the male and the female. But after this knot, still they again continue each individually, and they end up in the nostrils. So the Ida Nadi ends up in the left nostril, the Pingala Nadi ends up in the right nostril. And that is where in pranayama then we are working with them. Ida, as I said, is lunar, so is more calm, more healing kind of energy. Very important for the health of the body. Purifying and magnetic in nature. Cool. Pingala is more active, is more about self-confidence, it's more male, fiery, electric. Those are the three main nadis involved in Kundalini Yoga, but there are many others also important. Every sense organ has a main nadi that then relates to the rest of the nadi system and the chakras that connects to the chakras. Actually, all sensory input through these nadis has a certain effect on your energy and on your chakras. So sensory input definitely can change your desires very easily. It will affect you. Now, in this 1 hour or 1.5 hour period that I was talking about before, when the energy goes to Sixth Chakra, automatically the two nostrils will become balanced. I've explained this before. If you take a deep breath through your nose, you will feel that on one side there's more cold air, on the other side there's less cold air. That means one nostril is dominant. For example, in my case, left nostril is dominant. But after 1 hour, 1.5 hour, you will have like about 10 breaths where automatically there will be Sushumna opening. And the energy will start moving in the central channel, Sushumna channel. But this is only for a short while, only 10 breaths. But at that moment you might experience a little bit more of peace, a little bit more of balance. Your energies will be effectively balanced. You will not be either very lunar, either very solar. You will be more in a neutral energy. And this story is the main story of Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is also called Laya Yoga, or Maha Yoga. There are many names for it. Kriya Yoga is also very much based on Kundalini Yoga. So there are many different traditions. But basically, there are two approaches to Kundalini Yoga. One which is forceful and the other which is not or less forceful. And the forceful tradition mainly uses pranayama. I will talk a little bit in detail, but the basic idea is that through pranayama exercises, a certain kind of energy called Kundalini energy can be used to open the chakras, let's say, by force. This Kundalini energy is present again at the base of our spine. It is like a serpent which is asleep, coiled up there. It is usually shown. And through pranayama, the serpent can be awakened and the energy can move upwards. But that upward movement of energy is very different from the general upward movement or downward movement of energy that I was talking about before. The energy, as I said, it moves upward, downward, and partially also through the central channel, the Sushumna channel, quite naturally, every hour, 10 breaths. But the Kundalini energy moving up through the Sushumna actually is a very different thing. It is a nadi in the nadi. It's called Brahma Nadi. There's like a very fine thread within Sushumna through which this Kundalini will rise. So this is the basic idea. that sort of rising of Kundalini energy can also happen through extreme emotions. Both agreeable and disagreeable emotions can produce such effects. And it also happens to anybody who is going into samadhi. So, in that way, this forceful method is not really needed. It is just a help. Anybody who can go into samadhi will also have automatically a rising of this energy up to a certain level that he can manage. Spiritually speaking, manage. This more forceful method is quite complicated and requires quite a bit of time. Actually, because Hari Johari was writing this book on chakras, often people would come to him and ask him, "Oh, can you teach me Kundalini Yoga?" And he would also say, yes, you come to India, I'll teach you. And then people were very happy. And then he would ask them, "Oh, and how many years do you have?" Because really, to learn that more forceful method requires many details. And well, you probably could do it in 2 years if you're a really good student and putting all your energy into it. But it's really quite a lot. And I'll just explain a little bit what I am talking about. First of all, there is a period of purification, which are called the kshat karmas. This involves things like dhoti, where you are swallowing a long piece of cloth. You may have seen that on YouTube. You can see the really long piece of muslin cloth, and you have to learn to swallow it so that it goes completely into your belly, and then afterwards you again pull it out. You've not seen that? Yeah, on YouTube you can see. It's quite a strange thing to see. But so it's only one of the very first basic things in this kind of yoga that you have to learn. You have to learn to draw up water through a reed from your anus, and in that way learn to clean your intestines from inside. You have to do the neti, the nasal cleaning. That is actually not so very difficult. You have to do a lot of tratak. Tratak means staring into a light, usually a flame, a lamp, in which you have to stare without blinking your eyes for a long time until the eyes start watering and you can close them. And, that's also an exercise in itself, which is necessary to more develop the third eye and the pineal gland. So it is a purification there. There is noli. This is like a very special belly exercise where you are learning to work with your muscles of your belly, because that you will need for some of the advanced pranayamas that are then coming afterwards. So basically, you have to be able to roll your belly muscles at will. I can't do that. And then another one, Kapalabhati, is more known, I think. This is like the very strong breathing, bellows breathing, like that. But for a long time, because it's also very purifying on the energy level. So that's something to learn it, and to do it takes several months already, just that stage. Then certainly during that period and also after, you will be expected to respect all yamas and niyamas of Ashtanga Yoga. I'm not going to explain what all that means, but for example, it means you may not lie, you may not become angry, dishonest in any way. There's many things there. Certainly no sex, no drugs, no rock and roll. The whole sensory input has to be largely blocked out. Minimum contact with other people, being very much in your own world. So that's not so easy for many people. It's easy for a week, but months, years, more difficult. And then start the actual pranayama exercises, where you first of all start playing with the nostrils, creating this Sushumna breathing. It's more like something which you can consciously control. And then the second part will be kumbhaka, meaning you have to be able to stop breathing for a very long time. 2 minutes is a minimum. 4 minutes is okay. No? So that also takes some time to develop. Very good practice. And then you have to start practicing certain locks in your body. There are basically 3. One is where you draw up your anus. So with your anus muscles, you are completely drawing up, which is something which will be needed to like shake this snake, make this snake become awake. You have to be able to completely draw in your belly so that you kind of like push your navel against your spine, which is another lock. Because the idea is you are moving the energy upwards and then you're creating a lock so that it can't go down again. So that's basically what is being done there. And then the third lock here is in the throat, where you push your chin against here, so that also here you can stop the downward movement of energies. And all these things, so the holding of the breath and the performing of all these exercises has to be done together in a certain sequence. So it's quite a difficult thing. Other things that will need to be learned is Shambhavi. This means that you can turn your eyes upward so that they are looking, like to the third eye, up in the brain. Kechari Mudra, also very important. Kechari Mudra means to swallow your own tongue. Well, if you can stop breathing for a long time, it's not such a big issue, to swallow your tongue. If you can't stop breathing for a long time, it is a big issue. So first you have to learn that. And often even this little muscle here is cut to make it more easy to have the tongue go out. And even the milking of the tongue is done to make it longer, like more flexible, and all sorts of funny things. And then there is Yoni Mudra. This means that you are not only able to push upwards the anus, but also the genitals. You have to be able to push them up together. So this is another mudra. So by doing that, you can start working with this Kundalini energy. Actually, by doing that, the prana, the purer energy, you could say, must come in contact with the apana. The apana is the prana energy in your lower body. And you have to bring it up, and for that it also has to be sufficiently pure. So it means you have to have good bowel movements and good health and all these things in order to do that. Otherwise, it's not very healthy. And then when apana and prana come together in the heart area, there is a tremendous combustion going on, tremendous energy being created. Explained now by modern scientists as prana being more negative ions and apana being more positive ions, and you bring those together and it creates like a big fireball. And so it is that energy which is then used to awaken the Kundalini and make it move upward. And then through these locks and different things that you have learned, you can keep the energy there and always push it further and further and further up. Now, that sort of exercise, of course, also has its limits. I have said it before. If you want to go beyond first chakra, you have to leave all fear. All care for your body and all that. That is not something that can be happened only by some energetic gain. The only thing that this use of energy, this change of energy, this upward movement of energy can do for you is to give you a temporary experience of what it would be to be without that fear, or to be without the desire of the second chakra, or to be without the desire of the third chakra. Temporarily, in that meditation, that is what you will experience. So that experience can definitely help you to grow there, to more easily let go of those desires. But it is certainly not only an energy problem. It is also a problem of your own consciousness, as I said, of your subconscious. No? So it is a great help. All these things are a great help, but in themselves not sufficient. And that is also very typical, that then people, have a temporary experience which is very, very spiritual. They come out of it and feel, oh, now I have really realized this, or gone beyond that, and they continue their life, but slowly the old thinking, the old feeling, the old desires come back, because the energy is again dropping. No? So it is a very special, very clever, very acknowledged method, Kundalini Yoga, but it is also in a way limited. No? It is limited, and in that sense one may also look at the less forceful ways to make the energy move upwards, because then if it moves upwards, it will be more logical that it also stays there, because somehow we are not pushing it, we're just helping it along a little bit to move upwards, as our own consciousness is moving upwards, and then achieve more steady growth with maybe a little less work. Kundalini Yoga, I think, from what I explained, is quite a lot of work. It's not impossible for a householder yogi to do, but difficult for a householder yogi to do. It's better if you have the time, to say, okay, 2-3 years, with a good teacher, and there I can learn and do it and achieve whatever can be achieved, and then whatever else comes after, I'll see. Enlightenment is not a guarantee. Surely not. But moving forward quickly, that is relatively guaranteed if you follow that sort of method. Because the Kundalini energy is extremely purifying, can really clear out many of your knots. And then, okay, if you want to again make these knots, that's up to you. But you can also leave them untied. That's the main